Okay, Sophia, you want to start first?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today at this open house. I'm Sophia Lian, and I'm here on behalf of the admissions team, and Martina is our wonderful host today, in addition to Courtney Graves, our wonderful career services advisor, who will tell you more about what distinguishes our program as far as career services support and who you'll be working with closely during the bootcamp. So let me share my screen now. And let's get started. Let me move this. All right, so we want our participants to participate. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop your question into the chat, or if you have any questions directed to either the Career Services Office or to the Admissions Office, feel free to email us directly, and our email addresses will be provided for you at the end of this presentation. So the admissions office and the career services office sort of bookend the student's experience here at the bootcamp, in that the role of the admissions officer is to make sure that we answer students' questions, make sure that we give you an overview of our syllabus and our curriculum, answer any financing questions, and to take care of admissions logistics. And the role of the the career services office is to make sure that your stay here at the bootcamp is fruitful and that you find that preferred job. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an overview of our program, tell you a bit about what distinguishes NYC DSA from other boot camps, walk you through the website, and then I'll hand the stage over to Courtney, who will give you more in-depth information about our career services support. All right, so a bit about our school. Our school is an academy that teaches both in the bootcamp format as well as professional development courses, either individually or as bundles, in order to tailor your education to your preference and your time flexibility. So we offer both our flagship data science with machine learning bootcamp, both in person and live streamed via Zoom, which is 12 weeks long, or on demand and pre-recorded, either full-time or part-time. The full-time being 16 weeks and the part-time being 24 weeks. I'll go into more depth as far as the content in the curriculum a little bit later, but those are your choices. And our data analytics bootcamp is a way for you to dip your toes into data science if you're not sure yet whether data science is something that you want to dive right into. You can take the 7-week data analytics bootcamp. And if you feel that it has piqued your interest and you want to learn more and learn about supervised and unsupervised learning, you have the opportunity to actually transfer directly into the machine learning modules and join the machine learning students with the opportunity to collaborate with them in team projects. We also have professional development courses. If you prefer your training to be more a la carte and you want more leeway and freedom as far as what you want to learn, if you decided to do a bundle, which is a series of 3 individual courses, we offer bundle discounts. We are the only bootcamp that teaches both Python and R. Python has rightfully dominated the spotlight as the language for machine learning, but R is also very widely used in data science, especially in the life sciences and also in academia. And because we want our data scientists to be well-rounded, we teach both. And we want to allow you to be as competitive as possible in your job search. And in knowing both, you will. We have 4 industry projects. 2 of which will be data analytics. One would be data analytics with Python, the second data analytics with R, the third is machine learning with Python, and the fourth is a collaborative project with your teammates that allow you an opportunity to work with your peers and to work on an industry pitch project from one of our industry partners. And that allows you some opportunity to increase visibility in the data science community. We have very robust job placement support, and that really distinguishes NYC DSA from other boot camps. And it's done through many different pathways. One of which is actually through our unlimited one-on-one mentorships. So our mentors don't just offer homework and project help. They are actually alumni who graduated from our program. You can reach out to them. You can access their calendars, take a look at their bios, schedule appointments with them. And if you find that in their bio, something interests you, or it's a company that you want to work for in the future, you can schedule these sessions with them, and you can utilize these sessions as you see fit, whether you want to use this as a mock interview or to get a feel as to what it takes to get your foot in the door, you can do so. So that's one way, one-on-one mentorships. Our career services office does mock interviews with you, resume reviews. You will be added to a job portal, which is a portal of our industry partners who have specifically indicated that they only want NYC DSA graduates. So that gives you a leg up from the very beginning in that you have exposure to these recruiters. And fourth, you at the completion of the bootcamp, you actually will be part of us. You will join a study group in a post-bootcamp study plan where you will work on elevator pitches, technical interviews. You will be given technical interview study sets that you'll review with your group mates, and you will regularly check in with the faculty advisor. So many different ways to tackle finally landing that dream job of yours. We have over 2,000 alumni working across the globe, and our diversity is reflected in our student body as well as our faculty. And we've been consistently ranked highly in course report and switch up over the years. So the upcoming boot camps are listed here. Our flagship in-person remote live bootcamp starts September 27th, and the next one is January 3rd. This one is 12 weeks long. The on-demand pre-recorded bootcamp, both full-time and part-time, also starts September 27th, and we also have one starting November 8th. And if you're interested in the data analytics bootcamp, which the live one, the remote live and in-person one is 7 weeks, the online on-demand pre-recorded one is 12 weeks. These are the start dates, September 27th and November 8th, and they coincide with, if you decide to transfer into either one of these midway through, you'll be able to do so. If you're interested in applying with us, the application process is straightforward. You go ahead and submit an application. At the end of the application, you will be provided a link for you to schedule an interview. Later on in the week, you will interview with either myself or Noah Escobar. And if all goes well, you will be sent a tech assessment that you'll complete within 48 hours. It will be forwarded to one of our data science instructors who will provide written feedback. And within a week, you will get a decision as to whether you're accepted to our bootcamp. So this is an overview of our program and our application process. Our website is very feature rich, and I want to walk you through it right now, because if you have additional questions that I did not cover in depth during that presentation, you actually can take a look at our website and you might be able to find it. So let me briefly walk you through it right now. This is our homepage. The Bootcamps tab, you see lists our data science bootcamp, our data analytics bootcamp. We actually just launched our free program, which is 8 hours long. And it gives you a very comprehensive overview of Python that I'll actually go over a little bit later after I go over the bootcamp highlights. So if you click on the data science bootcamp, you'll see these are the upcoming start dates. The next one being September 27th. And this second section here is the on-demand pre-recorded bootcamp, where you see that we offer an additional session in November, if this is what you are interested in. These are the highlights of our bootcamp. As mentioned earlier, we've been consistently rated highly across course report, switch up, and other data science review boards. Our bootcamp is project oriented. You get that opportunity to work with an industry partner for your capstone project, which increases your visibility in the data science community. Our career services support is robust, and Courtney will go into this in more depth with you a little later. We have an engaging community. So even if you are either working full-time or you are taking classes and you might need to enroll in a part-time on-demand bootcamp rather than the in-person remote live, you actually will have almost 24-hour access to our Slack forum. So when you post on these forums, you will get almost immediate feedback from our TAs and our instructors. And again, you have that unlimited one-on-one mentoring support that you won't find anywhere else. Again, these are the different delivery formats. And this is the content of the data science bootcamp. You will first begin with pre-work once you're accepted, which is 40 hours of review for you to brush up on before the start of the bootcamp. This covers statistics, basic linear algebra, basic calculus, and some coding. You want to put enough time into it so that you can hit the ground running when you start the bootcamp. Then once the bootcamp begins, you'll start with the data science toolkit, where you'll learn about version control with GitHub, learn how to use relational databases with SQL, and you'll learn how to navigate a command line. You'll then move on to data analytics with Python, where you learn about different libraries like SciPy and NumPy, how to do data manipulation, data transformation, how to clean the data so that you can organize it in a format that you can output onto dashboards and reports. And the visualizations you do will be done using Matplotlib and Seaborn. With data analytics with R, you will be using primarily the tidyverse library, and you'll be doing the data visualizations in ggplot2. You'll then move on to business cases in data science, which is very important because you can see the explicit link between what you learn during lecture, the more abstract theoretical content, and how it relates to industry, including the life sciences, technology, finance. Then you move on to machine learning 1 and 2, where you learn both supervised and unsupervised techniques, including supervised techniques like linear regression, logistic regression, support vector machine, tree-based models like random forest and gradient boosting, naive Bayes analysis, and unsupervised methods like clustering and principal component analysis. You'll then move on to advanced topics like big data, where you learn when to migrate from the desktop to the cloud using Apache Spark and Hadoop, in addition to deep learning with neural networks, PyTorch, and Keras. Again, the last module is the capstone project, where you want to give plenty of thought to throughout your stay at the bootcamp to make sure that you plan it well so that it'll enhance your portfolio as you look for that job. And again, you have the opportunity to work with industry partners for this, and you'll be doing this in a collaborative environment. You can download all these details if you click on the download curriculum button. Data science is a very popular field right now. It is upward trending, 25% growing, and the starting salary for operational research analysts is 94,000, which is not low. These are a listing of some of our alumni and hiring managers and the companies they currently work for, and our career services office is happy to make introductions to them for you. As far as, so the application process I outlined earlier for you, we do provide financing. Because 17,600 compared to another advanced degree, it actually is not expensive, and it's a very wise investment in times of both finances and time, but it is not cheap. So we do partner with 2 lenders, Ascent and Klein. And if you qualify, then you have the option of paying over 3 to 5 years at the cost of between $350 and $450 a month, which makes it that much more manageable for most people. We have some upcoming webinars and events that I welcome you to take a look at so you can get familiarized with some more of our instructors and what we teach. And here is a listing of our frequently asked questions. And now to go back to, we do have the data analytics bootcamp. And the difference between the data science and the data analytics bootcamp is, in fact, the content is actually identical all the way up to business cases and data science in order to streamline your transition into data science if you so choose. So both our part-time program, our data science bootcamp, and our data analytics bootcamp, the content for the part-time program is actually identical compared to our full-time program, which differs from other bootcamps where the part-time program cuts in half the content covered. So that is one distinguishing mark of our bootcamp. And secondly, the data analytics bootcamp, the content is identical all the way up to business cases. If you decide to continue with us, then the rest of these modules, the next 4 modules will be taught. So that's something to consider. And I mentioned earlier the free content that we just started. This is an opportunity for you to take a look at our learning platform and to familiarize yourself with what we offer. Take a look at our slides, our notebook, and see how we track your progress during class. And the content is very comprehensive, and it doesn't just scratch the surface either. As you can see, you learn about Conda installation. You learn very comprehensive content in Python and Python specific structures, such as list comprehensions and iterators. So this is definitely worth taking a look at for you to see all that we offer at our school. Let me go back. The second tab here, you can click on if you're interested in our bundles. So a bundle is a series of 3 courses. If you're interested in taking all 3, you get a bundle discount. You have the Bootcamp Prep Bundle here, the Data Science with Python, if you prefer to learn only Python, Data Science with R, if you prefer to learn just R, and Data Science Mastery, that assumes that you already have some background. If you want more detailed information about the content, you want to click on individual courses, where it gives you a breakdown of everything taught in these individual courses, the course start and end dates, and the hours. And Courtney will go into this in more detail, but as far as occupational outlook, we do provide a guide here for data analysts and data scientists that you can look at that breaks down into percentiles, salary expectations, and outlook. And we actually encourage students, in order to get a more accurate and granular opinion on what they can expect after graduation, to reach out directly to our alumni. And you can do so easily if you click on the job report and our outcome tab here. You can filter based on their degree. For instance, if they graduated with an MBA, for instance, and with a background in biotechnology, and a projected role, applied data scientist, for instance. You can find people from similar backgrounds, because if you think about it, statistical reports, they're aggregate information. And if you look at a data scientist who works in apparel, for instance, versus somebody who works in banking, the earning potential and the trend might be very different. So you want to find somebody with a similar background. If you click on these profiles, you see that there are these icons at the bottom. Oh, another benefit of joining our program is that you will be added to our blog. Any projects that you do will be added to our NYC DSA blog. You will be listed as a contributor, which increases your credibility in the data science community. And you have a listing of your projects, your code, and other work that you have done. And then if you click back and you want to connect directly with our alumni and get their unbiased opinion of what they thought of our academy, in addition to job outlook and salary expectations, you can click on their LinkedIn profile. Great, so this is an overview of the admissions process. and what our website offers. If you want any additional detail, feel free to reach out to me. And I will hand the stage now to Courtney.
In the meanwhile, there are a few questions that maybe you covered, but maybe we can ask it again so that we can reinforce that. Sure. So one was the part-time program, the part-time data science program. Are the classes held weekdays, weekends, or in the evenings?
The part-time, let me take a look.
In the chat.
Are the classes held on weekdays, evenings, and the evenings? Yes, so the pre-recorded classes are, they're actually aren't live classes. So these classes are on demand. You access them at your convenience. So after work, after class, and on the weekends.
Yes. Also, Cornelius was asking about the PreWork Bundle. Is it offered online, self-paced format? Yes, it is. It is.
The PreWork Bundle is actually, it is remote live, and those are evening courses. If you let me actually walk you through it. I'll share my screen again. Whoops. The pre-work bundle. This isn't, you weren't talking about bootcamp prep. The pre-work bundle is, it is 40 hours, and they are pre-recorded lectures. So they're similar to the part-time format. They're not live. Did that answer your question? So the pre-work is here. The pre-work, it is 40 hours, and it covers math, calculus, common installation, Python, and R. And these are pre-recorded lectures with the notebook files provided, the lecture videos provided, and assignments also provided in the learning platform.
And one last question, but it's kind of tricky. Why do these industry partners want the students to work on their projects instead of hiring an intern full-time team member?
I think because, oh, does Courtney want to answer?
Oh, no, you could go ahead. I don't know about the projects, anything in regards to the projects.
Because we, the industry partners oftentimes were our graduates, and they understand the importance of engaging new future contacts, because our graduates aren't necessarily newbies. A lot of them aren't newbies. A lot of them come from very technical backgrounds. They're engineers or mathematicians, and they are very skilled in that respect. And they have just newly acquired these data science skills that actually make them very capable. And having just emerged from this academic learning environment, they haven't been siloed into a particular role over the years, which people from industry, or especially an intern who has just maybe graduated from an undergrad program, have not been trained to do. They might not have the industry exposure. They might not have the diversity of experiences that you find at our bootcamp. So our fellows here at our bootcamp, most of them come from advanced degrees and even technical degrees. They are building on top of that. And so because of that, they are very adaptable and able to tackle the depth and complexity of these types of projects that interns would not be able to do.
One last question. Do you have any scheme of paying part of tuition after getting the job?
We don't do income sharing agreements. And truthfully, those actually take a huge chunk out of your paycheck. And to either apply for financing with our lending partners, or to pay tuition, to self-fund your tuition, ultimately is cheaper, because you don't have to give away essentially a part of your paycheck once you find that job. And income sharing agreements with industry partners at other schools, they're very restrictive. You need to make sure that you carefully read the fine print, in that You are not allowed to turn down some opportunities if they are considered data positions, even if you're not interested. So there is much less leeway in actually finding a job that you prefer because of these stipulations. And we also have an established reputation since 2013. And due to that, we don't feel the need to have to compensate by offering these types of agreements, because based on our track record, we've been capably able to place students in good jobs.
Oh, and also we have been recently we recently got accreditation from Asset. So
Correct.
I think later on we're gonna have some like financial plans, but
Correct.
not now, right?
Not now. We're working out the details. We're accredited by Asset, and because of that, we will potentially qualify for federal programs and tax advantage programs.
Yes. Do you happen to know what are the criteria to be qualified for the financial, the third party?
If you're the only qualifications needed are usually for international students who need a cosigner and who need a cosigner who is either a green card holder or a citizen. Other than that, because these are bootcamp lenders, they tend to be more lenient than you would find a traditional bank. It's very likely that you will get approved. If you are an international student, you would want to find a cosigner who's either a green card holder or a citizen.
Got it. I don't think we have more questions for now, so I think Courtney can go on.
All
and
right.
yeah.
I'll turn off my video.
Yes, I'm here. Hi, everyone. My name is Courtney. I'm the Career Service Advisor here at New York City Data Science Academy. I also wanted to add that we are the only data science academy that is currently accredited. So if you want to come and join a very reliable, forthcoming, and very interactive program, definitely join us. We are the only boot camp that's accredited at the moment. So again, my name is Courtney. I will be discussing the career service side. So our job never feels like it's done until you guys actually find your data science job, right? You guys came here because you are planning to expand your education and get into data science related jobs. So we work really, really hard to help our alumni achieve that goal. Hold on one second. And there's just a few ways that we support you guys, which Sophia had mentioned during her presentation. And we usually start the career service, introducing career services your second week of the boot camp. During that time, we start off with the resume review session, and then we have different weekly topics. Around your your 8th week of the boot camp, 7th, 8th week of the boot camp, we begin doing resume revisions during that time. And we would meet for 15 minutes once a week, one day, and just go over your resume revisions before we give you the final during the 4th week. And then it's graduation. And something that I always share with the current cohorts or people who are still with the boot camp is, don't worry. Once you guys actually graduate, you guys actually have more access. I actually like working with the alumni soon after they graduate, because I feel like I could get to know them a bit better, learn about what it is that they're really looking for in a role. And I think just having those type of conversations are really important, especially with everything going on with COVID, and work dynamics are changing, and just helping people find the right jobs for them. So it's so many ways that we support. I can go on and on for a while about just different ways that we support, but just know that you do get it. So like I said, the 3 rounds of personalized interviews is usually introduced around week 8. I try not to do it the week before or the week of before you guys graduate, because you guys will be working on your capstone. For instance, this week we wrapped up the last revision session for the current cohort who's graduating next week, Friday. So because I know you guys are like extreme, well, when you guys do join, because I hope you guys do. But for instance, the people that are currently in their cohort, I like for them to not be too flustered and worried and those during that time, because they are trying to get their capstone and finalize all their projects. So just to support you guys during that time as well, I try to make we try to make sure that it's done before your actual graduation. We have mock coding challenges, technical and behavioral interviews. So I usually, we have 3. I tell people 3. The 100% behavioral is actually just a one-on-one with you and I. I usually ask for a job description, or I'll find a job description for you and base the questions off of that. But it's 100% behavioral. I tell everyone that I meet, I have no idea about the technical questions or anything like that. I'm more of like the HR type of person. I'm not too familiar with everything that you guys would be learning during the boot camp. So I can't really help on the technical part, but we also have an option called skill.com, which is a great website in which you have an option of doing 2 30-minute interviews or 1 hour. And what's great about skill.com is that it's a combination of technical and behavioral questions, which often happens during the interview process. Then we also have the coding challenges, which is really, really important during the interview stages. And it's just a totally different dynamic. If you're not from the data science or data analyst background, this will be something that'll be new to you during an interview process. So with the coding challenge, you'll actually, for the most part, during those interview stages, they would provide you, a company will provide you with a technical assessment that you have to either present, or they will want to watch you do the coding live. We actually had one of our alumni, his name is Zach Zabar, and he's currently working at a company called Unsupervised. And right now, he's doing a monthly session with our alumni, and he's providing actual coding challenges that his company uses during the interview process, which has been extremely helpful. And he's been using different languages. The last one, I believe he used Python, and I believe the one before that was R. But remember, I don't know these things, so I'm not 100% sure. But I know he used different languages for each of the challenges. So those type of opportunities are provided for you guys, because we want to make sure that you do well during the interviews and you do feel supportive. A lot of our alumni are coming from like their PhD, their master's program. Some people don't necessarily have interview experience. So we do provide that support to help you during your process. We have one-on-one post-interview review and feedback sessions with career advisors, lifelong access to hiring and network events. So once you guys graduate, at any time you feel like you need to come back to us, please feel free. We will help you out. I'm currently working with about, I want to say, before 2020, I'm currently working with about 6 alumni from older cohorts who are on the job market that's looking for work, in addition to about 52 other who are, about 50 other people who are actively looking for work. So just always know that we have your support at any time that you're looking for a job or you want to change in your current situation. Always feel free to reach out. We'll go over your resume and we will connect you with our hiring partners or any networking events. We have a lot of events that we do, and you are always welcome to join as an alum. Access to NYC Data Science Academy, Alumni Network, and industry connections. Like I said, we have a lot of connections. I want to say on average, I have about 2 hiring partners reaching out to us a week with different employment opportunities. We share those opportunities with all of our alumni that are actively looking for work as well. So again, you will continuously get those emails until you feel like you do not need them anymore. Complimentary access to meetups, workshops, and alumni presentations to foster industry relationships. So again, a lot of just, connections. One thing that I can say about our alumni base is that it is very, very strong, and everyone is willing to help each other out. So as Sophia was discussing before, like with the mentoring, we have a lot of alumni who are willing to help each other. I've reached out to alumni who's recently graduated and connected them with other alumni who just graduated to help, just to help each other out. I think too, because everybody has been through the same process, they can really relate, and they're just really just trying to, give a helping hand. So we have alumni that do presentations for us and do workshops for us and are just willing to help one another out. So some numbers I wanted to share is that from so far this year, we've had 82 of our alumni receive jobs. 3 of them end up returning back to their old companies, and on average about 5 offers per person. And this can be you too. With what I would include though is that you really have to put the work in behind it. If you put in the work, I promise you, you will see the results and you will find that job that you are looking for. Every person, for instance, every person that has created a job tracker sheet has landed a job that I've worked with so far. So if it's really a lot of work, but when the work is done, you do see the rewards. And with that, I want to share some success stories of our alumni. I'm not going to go through all 82 of them, but I am going to go through a few of them. This was also from the website that Sophia has shared earlier. And if you're interested in connecting with any of these people, please, feel free to do so, just to get some insight. Also too, maybe you can see yourself in these people. And a few of them I am going to share a few stories on because I've worked with a few of them personally. And I think their stories are very motivating, and I think it'll also help as well. So recently we had David Zask, who's now a data scientist associate at Horizon Media with a background in philosophy. Again, you're going to see that there's going to be a lot of alumni who have different backgrounds, not necessarily related to data science. And one thing I always like to assure people is that your background can actually help you find your career job, because there's so many data science related jobs in different industries. In fact, I want to say in every industry, there's some sort of data scientist or analyst that is needed or required. So don't ever feel like your background is going to prevent you from, achieving your goal as a data scientist. No, you can actually still become a data scientist in just any industry that you're interested in, but also if you utilize your past experiences to get where you're trying to go to. Anthony, he has his PhD and he's working for Johnson & Johnson as a director, data scientist, project management. Alexander, he is an R&D engineer at Ava Technology. Stephen, I actually worked fairly closely with Stephen when I first joined, and I kid you not, I was so happy to see that he was able to get the job that he was looking for. He specifically was looking for a healthcare analyst role, and or something in the healthcare realm because of his background in bioengineering. And he was able to achieve that, and he's been on the job for about a month now. So I was really happy to see that. We have Chun, who is a data analyst at MKTG. Michael, he is a process automation engineer at Ho Q's Inc. Brian, he is currently a consultant at Mammoth Growth LLC. Mustafa, who also has a PhD in economics, is a data scientist at Lub Law Companies Limited. Patrick is a data and analytics at Huntington National Bank. And something similar to Darish, who I'm gonna get to in a moment, he actually started off as a contract, but they ended up hiring full-time. So, you know, it was really exciting when he was able to do that. Yashiro, he is an operation analyst at Citava. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Valeria, oh my goodness. Valeria, I think her story is so awesome. I started working with her, I want to say in April. She graduated last year. And she has some personal things that she had to take care of. I'm not going to go into those details. And, you know, she was still applying to places. She did her resume revisions. And what ended up happening is she received 2 job offers. The first one was her dream role, which was at Spotify, which was through a connection through the academy. They offered her a role, and then she also received an offer from PadSplit, which is another hiring partner that we have as well. And she ended up going with PadSplit because they were more accommodating to her situation. And she's been working there for over a month. Such a sweet girl. So happy for her. So she's currently there as a data analyst. Again, hard work. She did what she had to do. Still was studying during the post boot camp, and as she was looking for work, which is really, really important, and she was able to land her data analyst job. Darish, he graduated in April, and he as well, he started off as an intern, and you'll see that sometimes where you have to start off as an intern or as a contractor before the company actually offers you a full-time role. And he ended up recently receiving a full-time role at the company. So he went from intern to full-time, which is really awesome to hear. Cassie, another person, really sweet girl. She's working for KPMG. She has her master's in psychology. And now she's a data and analytic modeler associate. Really sweet girl. Jessica Joy, she also graduated in the same cohort as Cassie and Darish. And she's currently a business science analyst at MediaCom. She just graduated out of college and then enrolled in the boot camp. And actually one of her siblings also was in the boot camp too, from a few cohorts previously. And yeah, she was able to, she did the work. Again, they really, really put in the work and was able to find the jobs that they were looking for. She really wanted to be in a media company, and she did just that. Tim, he is a data scientist at Enco. Eugenia, she is actually an engineering analyst at BD Engineering Inc., another awesome person. She's actually done a presentation with, I think it was, I know it has something to do with cover letters, but I think it was web scraping. Again, yeah. It was web scraping, right?
Yeah, web scraping.
Remember, I don't know these things, but yeah, she did a presentation on the behalf of the Academy on how to web scrape your cover letters. So all you have to do is like change a few things, like the template and the format would be the same, but with the web scraping, you can plug in the name of the company more easily. Like you can basically easily customize your resume with her strategy. So she's been doing really well. She's actually on the West Coast, but another awesome person. Anthony Ali is a senior IT security analyst at Salmon's Financial Group. Jennifer, she is a machine learning engineer at UES Inc. Yeling is an analytic intern at Chartmetric. I think that's probably changed though. And David, he's actually, his background was really extensive in finance. And he told me when we were working, he just wanted to focus on finance. But he was more of a senior role. So again, he really was doing his due diligence of finding and networking with different people. And he was able to find a role as a data architect at Clear Street, which is a small startup company. Benjamin Berger, data scientist at Optimove. Michael, he's a senior data analyst at Freddie Mac. Gregory is a solar data analyst at Momentum Solar. Brandon is a freelance data analyst at Lewis Global Communications. I'm going to skip over a few because we're kind of pressed for time and I want to give us some time to discuss. Douglas and Richa, they both were a part of the 4 people at the bootcamp who received offers at Deloitte. We're seeing a lot of these firms invest more into data science and analyst roles. So that's Deloitte, KPMG, Ernst & Young, JP Morgan Chase. A lot of those type of companies are opening a lot of data related jobs now. Douglas, I worked with very closely as well. Really awesome guy. Again, he did a lot of the work and he was able to land a data science consultant role at Deloitte. And he's been there for about 2 months, 3 months now. And he's been extremely happy with everything going on there. Gabriella, if you actually join the boot camp, hopefully you would have her as your instructor if you're doing like the part-time program. She's really awesome. She's actually working as the assistant data science instructor right now for the academy. So hopefully you guys can work with her and you can see how awesome she is. Chitra was actually the first person in her group to receive a role, and she received it at Citrus Digital, and she's currently an AI solution engineer. And it just so happens that her husband participated in the last cohort as well. So we get a lot of internal referrals from people's relatives, as you can see, which is really awesome. But I think that also goes to show how great the program is that people are telling their loved ones to join as well. Let me see if there's anybody else that I wanted to speak on. Oh, Cita Thomas. Cita Thomas actually had a background working as a manager at a massage company. I think she was there for about 17 years or something like that. And she joined the boot camp because she wanted to change her career. And she received the role, and then within 3 months, she ended up getting a managerial role at the same company. So great success story to always share. And I think that's where I'm going to stop. But before I let you guys go and open the floor for questions, I want to share, keep calm, we got your back. So as I said, support is very important. Of course, like with your family and things like that, but in the boot camp, we are very big on making sure that you guys feel supported, and at any time that you need help, you can always feel free to reach out. We always want to make sure we extend those olive branches because, you know, 1, you never know what anybody is ever going through. And 2, sometimes during a new transition and going through this process, it can be overwhelming. I can tell you right now, going through the job hunt can be frustrating. It could be overwhelming. It could be very, very humbling to say the least. But just always know that you do have people that support you and want the best for you. And at any time, like I said, that you need any of us, feel free to reach out. So don't ever worry. Yes, you know, do what you have to do to center yourself if you got to go out for a walk and things like that. But don't ever feel like you are in this alone, because you're not. You have a huge family at NYC Data Science who is willing to support you. And I'm going to end there. Are there any questions?
Yes, a question from Aidan asking, do students have a hard time landing new jobs or get laid off because of COVID?
Do they? Okay, to be honest, based on our numbers from Asset, Those who graduated from 2020, right now we're looking at a 65% job placement rate. And that means that, majority, and if I were to break it down by cohort, I've seen some cohorts have like 90, no, okay, I think it's like 85%. I've seen 77% as well. So in that range as well. So I don't think, what I will say is that our alumni has done an awesome job during COVID, being able to find work still. A lot of our a lot of our alumni have not been laid off. I know it's been very few. I want to say like 2 or 3 times that I've interacted with anyone who started a job and they end up losing the job like within a very short amount of time. But for the most part, everybody's been able to find work during COVID, which has been really amazing to see. You would think that during this time that a lot of people would have issues with finding work, but no, not with our alumni.
Yes, and I always wanted to say that back to the part where Courtney was talking about having backgrounds in different majors. So we're gonna have quite a few alumni coming in and speak about their stories, and they have like a different backgrounds. If you guys go on our website in the resource page, there's like a webinars tab, and you're gonna see that in our upcoming events, we're gonna have a few alumni coming from like fine art majors or like having music PhD from Stanford and so on. So feel free to check out those events as well. And also we recently had an alumnus coming in and talking about how he got a job at UI, so financial background. So feel free to check out as well. And we have more questions. So I am part of the September 27th full-time cohort. Is it Monday to Friday, 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m.?
It's later. I think it's till 6, if I'm not mistaken. Alex hasn't shared the calendar with me yet, but I think everything ends at 6, just based on older calendars.
I think it's more like lectures until 3 and then self-study, answering questions in general.
After that.
Yes.
Correct.
And,
yes, the full-time cohort, the lectures end at around 3:30 or so, and the rest of the time there you can spend asking questions to teachers' assistants, to instructors, or to do group work. Yeah,
there's a lot of material to take in, so it's good to have those hours to like digest everything. So for the full-time sessions, are they online?
The full-time session, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, they are online and they're in person too. I think that's what they're referring to, but they are online and in person.
Yes, for the full-time sessions, if you mean the in-person remote live 12-week program, those are, if that's the one you're interested in, yes, you have both options, and you would decide at the beginning of the session which one you prefer. So you would either be in person or remote live. If you're remote live, you would live stream the lectures. If you're in person, you would attend the lectures in person. You do get recordings of these lectures that you can use for review, but there is an attendance requirement. And if online, is that synchronized or asynchronous? So for online, the 16-week online part-time program and the 16-week, let me start from the beginning. The 16-week full-time online program is asynchronous, meaning the lectures are on demand and pre-recorded. And that's the same format for the 24-week on-demand pre-recorded lectures. So I'm assuming that's your question. It's asynchronous. Did that answer your question?
Other questions in general regarding like, hi.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah,
Yes.
hello. Yeah. No, actually, my concern is this, that I found that if I say start the November 8th session, okay, then there are two options there for the data science. One is full-time, which ends in March, and the other is part-time, which ends in April. So if I go for full-time, and I'm also having a job now, so can I do this synchronized? That means in person. You said that there's in-person option there, right?
For the full-time program, we do advise students to not have something else that they are responsible for, because it is very rigorous. It is asynchronous in that you can access the lectures after class. They're pre-recorded, but it would be very hard to balance both working and doing a full-time program, which is 400 hours. So the part-time program covers the same material and you get double the amount of time. So that would be an option that we would advise you to look into if you plan to work while being a bootcamp participant.
Yeah, my job is also part-time, so it's not a full-time job. So I think I'll be able to, if the classes are, asynchronized, or it is in the evening and weekend.
Yes, they are asynchronous. You can watch them in the evening times and on the weekends.
Okay, and so there are quizzes and stuffs weekly, homeworks kind of things, and group works.
Correct. You'll be provided a timeline for when the assignments are due. And the assignments are typically due a few days after the lectures. And so if you have a lecture, say on Monday for Intro to Python, you would expect to have the homework for that associated lecture due either that Wednesday or that Thursday. And on Tuesday, you'll have another lecture. You'll actually have two lectures on Monday if you're in the part-time program. So you'll have two homeworks due that coming Wednesday or Thursday. And then on Tuesday, you have two more lectures, which will be due that Friday. So that's how it works. You want to stay on top of your assignments, and the group work, you will have access to the Slack forum, which will allow you to coordinate. There are live office hours, which complement the unlimited one-on-one mentorships that you can schedule. And these live office hours give you an opportunity to see who you would want to work with on group projects and whether you want to collaborate with others on assignments and become homework buddies. So that's a way for you to take a sort of assess whether you would vibe well with your teammates and to work on assignments together. So you would do that on your free time as an online student.
Okay. All right. So what I understand from your description is that for a full-time, it is about 40 hours of engagement weekly, at least.
Correct. If it's the asynchronous, it'd be between 30 to 40 hours. Yes.
Okay. For the part-time, where is it differing? I mean,
the part-time, you would get one lecture a day. And so it would space out the content over 24 weeks rather than 12. So you get double the amount of time. And the content covered is the same. You would just be responsible for for a lecture a day between Monday through Thursday. And the assignments associated would usually be due a week after they're assigned. So on Monday, if you get Intro to Python, the following Monday, the Intro to Python assignment is due. On Tuesday, you might you might get the control flows in Python lecture, and the following Tuesday, that assignment is due. So you get a bit more time to work on everything, in addition to the supplemental and bonus guest lectures and other activities that we make available to you.
Yeah, I mean, so the other activities that you said, that the group works and things like that, are those similar to the full-time?
They're the same. They're identical. You just get more time.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Thank you very much.
Sure. Cornelius has a question. Do you want to unmute yourself?
I think he already asked in the
Oh, he
Q&A
typed it?
section.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi. You have any other questions?
Yes, hello. I have a question. I'm not sure if anyone can hear me.
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
I'm just on the Z Fold phone, so I'm brain phone, so I'm trying to figure out use the long story. Question is that I'm trying to figure out in my situation the best way to go about it, because I know they have the bundle, but I guess the other question I wanted to ask was that, like, if a person engages in the bundle, like what hours during the evening and the weekends is the pre-work bundle offered?
The way we do our pre-work, it might be a little different from how some other boot camps do it. You have to get accepted to our program before you have access to pre-work. So that is separate from the Bootcamp Prep Bundle, which is that what you're referring to, the Bootcamp Prep Bundle?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that one, they're actually remote live or in-person classes. So you need to log in via Zoom. Those aren't pre-recorded, so there's an attendance requirement.
Okay.
And,
yeah. Because I guess I was trying to figure if it was like if it's starting like 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock, like in the evening or something like that, Eastern Standard Time.
Correct. And so for Intro to Python, that one meets Mondays and Wednesdays in the evening times, and that would be from 7 to 9 Eastern time. The Python data analytics class meets on Sundays from 1 to 5 p.m. Eastern, and the data analytics with R meets on Saturdays from 10 to 5 p.m. Eastern. So those are remote live and in-person classes. So you would need to make sure that you can log into the Zoom room at that time.
Okay. And then my last question would be like if would a person have to know what cohort that they want to start before you apply for admissions, or do you guys have something like a floating admission, meaning that if you sign for admissions and you're not too sure for what cohort that you're going to go for, does that person get a choice of actually going to another cohort when it starts after the admissions process?
Yes, you would apply for the one that you think you're most likely going to attend, but if you need to defer to a future cohort, you can do so.
Yeah, because I was looking at November, but the thing about it, and also the last question too, is like if going through the admissions, if a person like doesn't get accepted, like what are the other options as far as like still trying to get in?
So one of another thing that distinguishes our school is that our Bootcamp Prep Bundle, actually, if it turns out that you need more prep work before you're accepted to the bootcamp, the Bootcamp Prep Bundle is the way to do so. And the instructor will direct you to complete it. After you complete it, you will get a verbal assessment that will be the final checkpoint before you before you get accepted to our bootcamp. And having satisfactorily completed all 3 courses means that you are ready to join the bootcamp. And in addition to that, you will actually get credited the amount that you pay for bootcamp prep. So you won't be paying anything extra.
Yeah, and the thing I was asking for that too, because I know that would it be advisable to the future students that they go through the admissions first before actually trying to get financing for the boot camp?
It's advised that you go ahead and have the interview with the admissions officer, and while you do the technical assessment, apply for financing at the same time, because it does take a few days. And if you want to apply for the full amount of financing, that will cover the deposit. So if you apply for the full tuition and you get accepted, you want to have that financing already available. So because that takes time, you want to apply for financing at about the same time you apply for the bootcamp.
Okay. And I guess the thing that I have to find out too is that once a student is in the school, like say like the 6 month part-time, does the either climb or I think skills from the skill up or whatever it's called, do they have something like a
Yes,
deferment
they finance all our bootcamp programs. Was that your question?
Yeah, well, and I guess that after the boot camp, when the school is over and then you graduate, then that's when you start paying the monthly amount that's due to the finance company, or do they have something like another way that you can defer it if you're in school still?
Ascent has more generous and flexible payback repayment options. And if you qualify, I would suggest that you go with Ascent because they have more flexibility as far as repayment. Climb, I think that they require repayment during bootcamp, 1 month into your stay at the bootcamp, but that could be just with the individuals that I've worked with. It's usually the finance department that works with students in getting in answering the questions with regarding lenders, but I've worked closely with a few students, and one of them informed me that with Climb, this lender required repayment 1 month into their bootcamp. So you also have a cost of allowance.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, because I've already started
A cost of living allowance that you can request.
Yeah, I've already started the process with Ascent anyway. And I guess maybe hopefully my background to help me within the program, because I have a bachelor's in computer science. So I've worked, I worked in the Intel community with classified agencies. So.
Oh, great. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you've already started the paperwork.
Yeah, it's just my goal is to try to either get into AI or machine learning. So after I finish that, then I'm either going to go to John Hopkins and Capital Technology University for both the master and PhD in AI. So it's just going to take the time. So yeah, it's and I guess for anybody that's listening now, if you have a bachelor's in whatever you have and you're going for master's, look at Coursera, because University of Pennsylvania has a master's program designed for people without a STEM background, and it's only like a 25,000, and it's an Ivy League degree online for anybody.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so if you go to
Thanks
Coursera,
for sharing.
yeah, I think they don't require GRE, even though you can turn it in, but it's not required. And I think they only want you to maintain like a 2.7, but it's only like about 25,000. That's it. And if you do or have a bachelor's in computer science, you can go to a program partnered by Udacity, AT&T, and Georgia Tech, because they have a master's degree online with a few specialties, and one of them is actually in machine learning, and it's only like 180 per credit hour. So you're looking at like what $540 per 3-hour credit course. So you're only paying like $5,400 for a master's degree at Georgia Tech if you go that route. Just for information for everybody.
Wow, thank you.
That was useful.
Thank you.
But yeah, we also had here some students graduating with a bachelor's degree taking our bootcamp, and then the bootcamp helped them apply to better master's program. So yeah, it's also a good choice.
Yeah,
and also.
I guess one of the things that helps too is if a person, I've already got a top security clearance, so I know that should help me with at least trying to boost up the salary as far as being a government contractor and all that good stuff. So.
Sure.
But yeah, we had an alumnus who graduated from our bootcamp, and
Mhm.
he got into like the Berkeley data science master's degree program. And
Mhm.
like he said, it was really useful, the bootcamp, as they taught
Yes.
similar things. So he got a jump start for the master's degree, and he got to learn like more advanced things instead of
Mhm.
like repeating the new, like the old stuff.
Exactly. And then
Yeah.
also too, if anybody wanted to like see the unique thing about the program that you guys have is that you touch both on the applied science and their in the theoretical.
Yes.
And the thing I learned too is that if any, just for information for everybody, if you want to get into something like where you want to build your own GitHub account with projects after you graduate, you can look at district's data labs. And there was a Georgetown University professor that started his own research lab dealing with data science, AI, and machine learning. So you can do practice everything and do your projects from remote. They have like a 3 and I think a 6 month assistance program through district's data labs in DC, remote. So
Mm.
Can I have another question?
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, it's I would say it's a concern that I have some background of Python, and I teach physics, mathematics, and introductory statistics in colleges. Okay. Now, do you think I have enough time to finish up the prerequisites and catch this session, the fall session on September 27th?
September 27th. Let me check my calendar real quick.
Yeah, your website says the fall session will start on September 27th. The admission deadline is 20th.
If you're able, we want to give at least a little over a week to do pre-work, because it really is important to complete it before the start of the bootcamp. If you can interview, and we might be able to arrange a verbal assessment with one of our instructors if they have the time. But because it's last minute, I will have to especially request that. But if you're able to interview, if you're able to submit your application later tonight and do the interview either tomorrow or on Friday, we might be able to have the instructor do the verbal tech assessment with you, because we usually have a written assessment. But because you want to start September 27th and you're able to do some, there might be some, we'll see. So if you have your application, if you submit it tonight, then I can see whether I can schedule something for you later in the week.
Okay, so it's just, the deadline would be then for submission of the application is tonight.
You will want to interview by the end of this week. So either tonight or on Thursday.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Do you think you can do that?
I have to see. I have to really, check things out. I don't want to rush, but I also don't want to be delayed. So I just want to balance there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, think about it. And if you're able to do so, then I can most likely schedule something for you by the end of this week. If you can't make it, then there is that November session for you to start. And that's sooner than January, because you'll be doing the asynchronous version. And so there's a bit more flexibility, and you'll just have to wait 2 months.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
Other questions or comments, anything? If not, I can wrap up this meeting, and I can send a follow-up email so that you guys will have the video recording and maybe the link to contact Sophia in case you have further questions. Yeah. And thank you so much for joining, and I'm gonna close this room. questions?